see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay, hey, yeah, ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Work with me, you know
Yo, yo, yo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Dashing, we got Ramon, we got Freddie, we got James, we got JMR, Cards, Sir Knight. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Do me a massive favor, smack the like button here on your way in. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We're on the road to 19K. And guess what? We're less than 100 subscribers from hitting that. So every single time I say it, we're chipping away, ladies and gentlemen. And the closer we get, the closer we can be giving away this Arizona Cardinals Nike Rivalry mini helmet. And once we hit 20K, we will be giving away an Arizona Cardinals jersey as well. So ladies and gentlemen, smack it up and join the family. Today, we are going to be talking about the Arizona Cardinals, obviously our favorite team, and that's why you guys are tuning in. And if you guys not your favorite team, welcome to the community. But today, we're going to be diving into a few different things that we ended up seeing earlier this morning, talking about best available free agents for the Arizona Cardinals to potentially still pick up. And yes, I'm not coming out here saying the Arizona Cardinals are going to get X, Y, Z. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm doing is providing you the information that's still available, the guys, the players that are still available that can be a very big, impactful player for the Cardinals in 2026, as long as Monty Ossenfort's willing to open up the checkbook just a little bit more, and Michael Bidwell's willing to kind of loosen the purse string just a little bit more. But I am going to say this is going to be a positivity live stream, ladies and gentlemen. So for y'all out there that want some positivity, here we go. Positivity up the yin yang. But yesterday, we made it official that the Arizona Cardinals indeed released Kyler Murray. This morning, it actually came out that the Arizona Cardinals actually labeled it a post-June first designation. Now, what does this mean? Why is this a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because if the Arizona Cardinals were going to release them pre-June 1st, we're going to be living in a scenario where the Arizona Cardinals were going to have to eat somewhere upwards of about $53 million of dead money, right? Now, the dead money, it feels like the way the Arizona Cardinals are spending this year, it almost kind of feels like they're kind of eating a lot of his salary this year compared to spreading it out in 2 years, right? Which could be good for 2027 and sucks for 2026, right? Now, although we are adding pieces to bolster up the defensive line and the offensive line, which I'm okay with. The Arizona Cardinals are, or actually just more the offensive line more than anything, but still, right? Trenches is good. But now that they're labeling it as a post-June 1st designation, the Arizona Cardinals have a dead money hit of $47.5 million and a cap savings of $5.1 million. So for what that's worth, the Arizona Cardinals opened up another $5.1 million. Now, yes, is that available post-June 1st? Potentially. Does that help us out right now very much? Probably not. Now, I know the Arizona Cardinals right now are not seeming like big spenders, and you can look at any website out there, right? The frustration that I ended up having in the past few days, it's not just a opinion that I have, right? Like if you look at a lot of different, websites out there that are grading these free agency pickups for 2026, a lot of those free agents or a lot of those websites or third-party websites, they label the Cardinals an F. They label the Cardinals an F in what they've done. Now, we can come out here and say, well, they're addressing all the needs that they have, or at least attempting to fill up the holes in free agency, which is cool. But yeah, the Cardinals haven't made a big splash. They haven't made anything like that, right? Like the biggest one we've made was Isaac Samualu. But in honesty, I thought that was a really good signing. I like the Tyler Algier signing as well. And I keep saying that because I want to make sure that everybody's aware. I like these signings, but at the end of the day, they are 1-2 year guys that maybe might regress, and we're going to have the same issue later on, right? So hearing the fact that the Arizona Cardinals are indeed making this a post-June 1st designation, the Cardinals do open up some more money per over the cap, but are they going to use it? Well, I mean, that's a big question mark out there, right? That's a big question mark. Will the Arizona Cardinals use those funds, or will they go into 2027 with more spending money that, let's be real, Will they use? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Monty's gonna make any other moves, or are we gonna consistently see more moves like the 1 year deals, like the was it Andrew Wingard? Is that right? Andrew Wingard that we ended up making yesterday. Now we ended up bringing back a familiar face in Bam Knight. The Cardinals made that official earlier this morning as well. Now another thing that I want to talk about as well is that we brought in a star back. If you know, you know. We'll talk about that a little later on, which honestly, I'm really, really excited about it. But yes, it's been labeled out. Tom Pelissero was the first one to, at least that I saw about 4 hours ago earlier this morning, that the Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, as well as Tua Tagovailoa are set to be post-June 1st designations, which does open up some room for the Arizona Cardinals. But as of right now, we wait. Now, we do have some other things that we want to talk about. We made a video about this earlier, and that the Arizona Cardinals seeming to, I guess, scrub away anything related to Kyler Murray. Now, I made a video about this last night. I did not get a chance to read a lot of the comments on there, but I'm curious to figure out what your guys' overall thoughts are on this. It feels a little petty. It feels a little, on par with what Michael Bidwell would do. But there was a couple different reporters out there coming out and saying that any pictures associated with Kyler Murray, I'm not sure if it's throughout the facility or just maybe more like in the press box or where the press, the media guys go. There's nothing there about Kyler Murray. They ended up replacing it with obviously pictures of their current players like Marvin Harrison Jr. And then you got this picture here with Jacoby Brissett when he ended up beating the Dallas Cowboys, right? Which is the only solo uh, uh, win for Jacoby Brissett here in 2025. Now, do I believe that's all fully Jacoby Brissett's fault? No, I don't. I feel like there's a lot of factors, unfortunately, that were hindering the Arizona Cardinals to win a lot of games, whether it was the inconsistent defense, whether it was the lack of run game, the protection. It was brutal, right? From top to bottom, it was brutal. So, for what it's worth, I want to kind of get a gauge on where your guys' overall thoughts. Do you guys think it's a big deal? Do you not think it's a big deal? Let me know in the chat below. I feel like it's a little petty, but it's on par with Michael Bidwell and what he would potentially do. Shout out here real quick. We got Mike Evans starting off the super chat train with the $2 donation. He's coming out here saying gutless, useless, gutless, pathetic, or yeah. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we are going to continue to get these comments throughout the years unless the Cardinals decide to fix what is the problem with the Arizona Cardinals, right? And that is lack of depth, lack of talent. And although I know they're trying to bring in all the people they can via the draft, and that might be the mantra of what Monty Ossenfort's trying to do. But I mean, sometimes you gotta use every tool available, man. The trading market is a way to bring in talent on your team. The free agency is a way for you to bring talent on your team as well. It's not just the draft. And it does feel like the way that Monty Ossenfort spends, whether it is Michael Bidwell or not, it's already going to be 4 year sample size. And his best acquisition is Josh Sweat. And I don't think there's a debate there. And it's only happened once in 4 years. So I don't know, man. I don't know if Monty Ossenfort's the future. I really don't. I think I've already kind of given you my opinion on Monty Ossenfort. Now, of course, there's going to be some people out there that are conflicting on how they feel about him, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But yeah, it's going to be one of those things, man. But I appreciate the $2 donation, Michael. Thank you so very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Let's take some comments here about how they feel about these pictures that are now posted and removed Kyler Murray's off the wall. Bacon in the chat says, I had a Kyler Murray poster on my wall. Had. All right. Past tense. Had. Love to see it. Ramon in the chat says, if they still have pics of Palmer and Warner, then yes, it's petty. That's fair. That's a very, very, very fair. Obviously, I'm not privy to be in there, but I'm actually kind of curious to figure out, do they have pictures of former greats out there, right? Like Palmer and Warner, where let's be real, since 88 of the Arizona Cardinals moving here, those are the best two quarterbacks that the Arizona Cardinals have had. And they're not drafted quarterbacks. They're guys that they gotten from other teams to have a reviving of their career. And they did. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if Kurt Warner was reviving because he won a Super Bowl, but I guess at that point, maybe it might be. But Carson Palmer, right? He was not doing well in Cincinnati. He went to the Raiders. Cardinals got him, and it really worked out very well. And we paired him up with Bruce Arians, and it was a beautiful story. And that's been kind of the glory days of the Arizona Cardinals. So, yeah, for what it's worth, there's that. But that's a very, very good call out. Let's take one more comment here if there's anything else. And Juan just doubling down, saying he never won a playoff game. That's fair. Sir Knight in the chat says, love it or hate it, we're rooting for a property franchise. Yeah, I mean, it sucks to say, but yeah, I don't think anybody's going to debate you on that one, man. Unless the Arizona Cardinals prove otherwise, I don't think anybody's going to debate you on that. So just wanted to kind of bring that note that it feels like the Arizona Cardinals are being a little petty, but like I said, it's right on par with the Cardinals and what they're doing. But they've taken down anything Kyler Murray associated with the press or area where the media ends up going. So for what it's worth, there's that. All right, let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. The Arizona Cardinals are re-signing some players. Now, if you took a look at the title of this video, we brought back a star. And this is who I was talking about, Starling Thomas the V. He is known as Star Thomas as well, but Starling Thomas the V has been brought back to the Arizona Cardinals, has been reported by a few different reporters out there. I ended up seeing Josh Weinfels as well as Tyler Drake of Arizona Sports coming out and saying the Arizona Cardinals indeed brought back Starling Thomas V. And honestly, I'm excited about this one. He was arguably one of our best cornerbacks before he got hurt in training camp. And I believe I was actually there in training camp when he got hurt. It happened so quickly that it was just like, oh my God, no, this can't happen. You saw him leave, and then it came to find out that he got a season-ending injury during training camp. It's just that's the type of stuff you don't want to see, right? You don't want to see that type of stuff for your team. I'm excited about Starling Thomas coming back. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's been rehabbing. I ended up seeing something he posted out here on X/Twitter, and I think he actually liked my post because I'm a big fan of Starling Thomas the V. I think he's a really, really good underrated cornerback for the Arizona Cardinals. And being the fact that I don't know if the Cardinals are going to be leaning on Max Melton very heavily this year, we're going to need somebody else to step in, right? So who are those guys to step in? Well, you also brought back Sean Murphy-Bunting. I'm excited about the idea that Sean Murphy-Bunting is probably going to be the veteran on there. I don't know if he's going to be making a lot of plays, specifically because he's been, over a year removed of playing an actual football game. And I just don't know what Sean Murphy-Bunting really has. Maybe he might. I know he's got a lot of flack when he was playing in 2024, but he was making plays here and there. And let's not act like Sean Murphy-Bunting was Buns. Let's not act like Sean Murphy-Bunting was Marco Wilson, right? And I'm sorry to bring up Marco Wilson's name, and he's probably catching strays right now, and I apologize about that, but he wasn't at that level. Like, yes, he was a veteran. Yes, he lost a step from what he was in his Tampa Bay days, but he was still making plays here and there. Did he get cooked every once in a while? He did, but I don't think we're expecting Sean Murphy-Bunting to come in here to be an all-pro. No. Obviously, whenever Garrett Williams is healthy, you got Will Johnson switching his number. Cool. That's awesome. But him and maybe Starling Thomas the V is probably going to be the guys we're leaning on. Maybe Max Melton. I'm excited to see what the matchup's going to look like here in training camp. But I think this is an amazing bring back for the Arizona Cardinals. Very, very underrated, in my opinion. Julio coming up with a super chat, $2 donation coming our way. What's up, man? He says, remember when Kyler scrubbed cards from his Instagram? Yeah, I remember it. Yeah. Social media is what you're saying. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, and that was petty too. that was petty too. It goes both ways, right? Are the Cardinals being a little petty? They are. Was Kyler Murray being a little petty? And then it's funny because I remember when the media ended up asking him, he ended up coming out. Didn't he say something along the lines like he was like doing like a he wanted to make it look like less cluttered or like more simplistic or something like that? Come on, you know darn well that the reason why you did that was because there was negotiations happening, and that's the way that athletes communicate with the fan base. And because the fan base was very, very enamored with Kyler Murray at that point, and let's be real, 3 years ago, everybody was still, or maybe 3 or 4 years ago, everybody was still very, very, oh yes, Kyler, you're the guy, you're going to win us a Super Bowl. Obviously, within this last year or year and a half, the fan base kind of started to switch on over to say, okay, maybe it's time to change. But he did the same as well. He was one and the same with the Arizona Cardinals, scrubbing everything Cardinals associated with his social media pages as well. So petty on him, petty on the Cardinals. Obviously, it fits both sides of the coin as well. Cards fan coming up with another two. What's up, man? He says this. Do we still have Will Hernandez? What's his status? We do not. Will Hernandez is not on the roster as of right now. Now, things can change from here until, obviously, training camp. But right now, he is not with the Arizona Cardinals. He signed a one-year deal, I believe, if I can remember correctly, last year. And that was the year that he ended up, obviously, fulfilling for the Cardinals. Now, I remember we were all excited. We were all excited, man, for Will Hernandez to come in here and but block for Kyler Murray. He wasn't the same, man. He wasn't the same. Whether he was still not ready to come back in full mode, is that a possibility? Potentially. But no, he wasn't ready to come back, and he was getting beat left and right, and it sucked. It sucked. But we'll see. We'll see what happens moving forward. Maybe the rehab continues. Maybe he gets his legs back under him, and maybe he's better. But as of right now, no, Will Hernandez is not a part of the Arizona Cardinals. As of right now, I believe they're going to be leaning on um, potentially John Adams, what the heck? John Gaines. John Gaines a second. They're probably going to be leaning on, obviously, one of the biggest acquisitions for the Cardinals, Isaac Samalu, as one of their guards. If not, John Gaines and probably Isaiah Adams. So that's probably who they're going to leaning on the guards. Right now, the right tackle is probably slotted as Matt Pryor, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I think the Arizona Cardinals really need to go heavy on that right tackle position, because if you look at the edge rushers, they got Josh Sweat and a bunch of, I guess, swing guys on the roster right now. That right tackle position is probably just a swing guy. Like, I don't know if I have a lot of confidence. So will the Cardinals come into this draft, potentially trade back and get themselves a Francis Mauigoa or Spencer Fanu? Probably, right? That is on the table. What I would do is I would get best player available at the 3rd overall pick. That's what I would do. Now, if you want to kill two birds with one stone, get some more draft picks, potentially get yourself a Ty Simpson. If you're interested, you can get yourself a right tackle and potentially a Ty Simpson if you trade with the likes of a Kansas City Chiefs, a Cleveland Browns, right? Because they got 2 first-round picks. So if you want to play that game, that is also a possibility for the Arizona Cardinals as well. But Cardinals do make it official earlier this morning that Starling Thomas the V is coming back and shoring up our cornerback position. Love to see it. All right. With that being said, Starling Thomas the V coming back, Bam Knight coming back. Right now we got 4 running backs. We got Trey Benson, we got Tyler Algier, James Conner, and Bam Knight. Do all 4 of those make the 53? I don't know. We'll see, though. All right, let's shift our focus on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about best players available right now for the Arizona Cardinals to potentially poach in this year's free agency class. Now, here's the thing. Let's talk about this. Free agency class is still going on, or the free agency frenzy is still going on right now. Right now, we are 2 days until the start of the new year, right? The start of the new year. We're 2 days into it. We are 4 days into the well, I guess the tampering period was only Monday and Tuesday, right? So that's when the announcements could be made. But by Wednesday, that's when pen to paper is official. So it's 2 days into the start of the new year for the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. Best players available. Now, if you don't know who this is, this is Dre Greenlaw. I believe probably right now he's probably seen to be as one of the best available right now. Now, Dre Greenlaw right now will fill in a massive hole for the Arizona Cardinals if they were to go this route. Now, Dre Greenlaw's played with the likes of the 49ers. I believe he had some injuries here and there, and then he went on over to the Broncos. Now, the Broncos ended up releasing Dre Greenlaw. He's still 28 years old, 6 foot 230. He's going to be seen as a middle linebacker, so a guy that you could probably put opposite side of Mack Wilson Sr., and I think that would be an amazing duo for the second level of the defense for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the grades out for PFF, and I always want to put this disclaimer out, no, PFF is not God, PFF is not the end-all be-all, but it gives us a tool to use as a potential there, right? Dre Greenlaw right now is probably the best available free agent for a need that we can very well go after, right? He is listed as a 74.8 overall grade. I think he's like 19th out of 88 linebackers throughout 2025. His run defense is what really, really kind of makes my eyes wide open. What was a big struggle for the Cardinals? We couldn't stop the run, right? We couldn't stop the run. He has an 82.3 run defense grade. He was listed as 13th out of 88 linebackers in the NFL in 2025. Now, his pass rushing grade, not the best, but he's a off the ball linebacker, right? I think he has a pass rushing grade of like 50.6. Not the greatest, but like I said, he's going to be more of a coverage guy. His coverage grade was 67.1, right? He's 19 out of 88 linebackers in 2025 for the NFL. I think this is a really, really good signing of the Arizona Cardinals were to look his way and say, okay, let's bring him in and put him opposite side of Mack Wilson Sr. That would be a dream made in heaven to me. Now, right now, it does feel like Cody Simon might take that role if the Cardinals don't address it either via draft or through free agency, it's probably going to be Cody Simon's job to lose as of right now, looking at the depth chart right now. But he equated to, what is it, like 25 solo tackles, 15 assisted tackles. He played solidly, right? He played solidly. Now, yes, he was released by the Denver Broncos. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, he's released for a reason. Well, yeah, you could think of it that way, but the Arizona Cardinals are in need of a linebacker opposite side of Mack Wilson Sr., and I would rather take the flyer and bringing in a Dre Greenlaw than running it back with just unproven talent. I mean, I don't know if Cody Simon is ready to go. He can shock me. He can come out here and be an all-pro for all I know. But as of right now, he's going into his year 2, and I've seen struggles in his rookie year. Now, everybody's going to struggle in their rookie year. That's for sure. Who's going to be the people who actually know it more? The Cardinals coaching staff. So I hope that there is something out here to be said about us doing something at middle linebacker. Because even if one of those two guys go down, like Mack Wilson Sr. went, I would love to have Dre Greenlaw here as a depth player. Like, I would love it. Not as a depth player. I'm sorry, let me run that back. I would rather have Cody Simon as a depth player to Greenlaw and Mack Wilson Sr. And if somebody goes down, then you have Cody Simon kind of taking that role. But just that duo just sounds really, really good heading into 2026. So we haven't really been adding a lot of defensive pieces. It's really weird how the Arizona Cardinals are doing it. All last year, they went defensive guys. All this year, they're going offensive guys. So it's really, really odd how they're doing that. I don't know why they just can't mix the two. I don't know if they have the bandwidth to do that, but I'm just hoping for a good defensive player for the Arizona Cardinals. But we'll see. Now, yes, we did get ourselves our safety, which is a defensive player, but depth player more than anything. Now, I do have a list here of other guys that can very well benefit coming to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, of course, number 1, I have Dre Greenlaw. Number 2, I do have Rasheed Walker. As of right now, while I'm recording this, I have Rasheed Walker on here because he's still listed as one of the best offensive linemen still available. Now, the thing that we're going to be running into if the Cardinals were interested or if they signed him, he's a left tackle. I hope the Arizona Cardinals don't make him a right tackle. Now, we do have the flexibility with PJJ to make him a right tackle if that's what the Cardinals choose to do. Now, Rasheed Walker is going to get paid upwards of about $20+ million. So it's going to be a big splash signing if the Cardinals were to go to that direction. Rasheed Walker's still in his mid-20s, if not maybe a little closer to, I think it's like 26, 27, if I'm mistaken. A good option. Then you can have your bookends, right? But like I said, it's going to add a lot of interest because he's a left tackle primarily. So there's that. There's Joey Bosa out there, which I'm not the biggest fan. He has a lot of injury concerns throughout his tenure of being in the NFL. But if he's going to be a committee guy, how the Cardinals have been doing it under Nick Rallis, kind of a swing by committee, it might work to keep him healthy. I don't know. Still really good talent, especially if you can get him on a very favorable deal. Taylor Decker out there still as well. Also a left tackle, but more of a veteran stopgap guy. And then you got Quidden Muhammad, an edge rusher, which honestly, to his own respected right, for the Lions, he played pretty solidly. I think he ended up having 12 sacks in 2025. Actually, pretty darn solid. 6'3", 250. Now the thing is that he's 30 years old. He's old, right? Well, he's older compared to the NFL, right? So he's 30 years old. Last year, he had 12 sacks, 9 solo tackles, 3 assists, overall grade of 74.3. He was ranked 30th of 115 edge rushers, pass rushing grade of 71.9. So that's also an option as well if you want to get an actual true pass rusher. Now, like I said before, he's older. It's going to be more of a stopgap guy, but probably a 2-year, 3-year deal with a 3-year probably have some sort of out in, right? So the Cardinals can go that direction. Now, I made up this list specifically with guys that I would see the Arizona Cardinals can kind of benefit from. Now, there's other players that the Cardinals can go for as well, right? Now, I know the name has been thrown out there, Kirk Cousins. Oh, are the Cardinals interested in Kirk Cousins? Mike Florio made an article and made people kind of think, right? I don't know, man. I think the Cardinals are going to keep the Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew tandem together. Unless they draft somebody, I think that's going to be the tandem they're going to be going into 2026. Wide receivers that are available, which I don't think we really need very much, but you got Deebo Samuel, Darnell Mooney, Jonnu Smith, and David Njoku, obviously tight ends. They're still available. You got some other offensive linemen like Joel Bonito. You also got White Taylor, Lloyd Cushenberry as well, which is a center. He's available. Mekhi Becton is still available. Cam Robinson still available. You got some defensive linemen. Jonathan Allen, an interior guy, and DJ Reader. You also got Calais Campbell still out there. He hasn't said anything about him not wanting to play again. So he's still available. Cameron Jordan, another veteran. Some guys out there, right? Linebackers, we talked about Dre Greenlaw. Matt Milano, I really do like. The problem with Matt Milano is that he can't stay healthy. So I wouldn't want to pay a guy what he probably wants to get paid if he's going to get hurt. And of course, when they drink the water here in Arizona, they get hurt. I still do like the option of Bobby Wagner if he hasn't been signed. I don't think I've seen anything out there about Bobby Wagner being signed. Even if it's a 1-year deal, I think he's a really good player still. Spent some time with the Seattle Seahawks and the Commanders as well. Defensive backs, I think we're good with defensive backs right now. I was really a big fan of Marshawn Lattimore a few years back, but that's quickly changed. So right now, the Arizona Cardinals are living in a world where they can bring in some other potential best available free agents. Now, will they? Well, that's a big question. That's a big question out there right now for the Arizona Cardinals. So for what it's worth, there's that. Cards fan coming up with another 2. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much for the super chat.
Another one.
He says this, I think Jawan Taylor is still available. He's 28 years old. Does Jawan play? I think he does play right tackle, right? I think you're actually 100% right. That is somebody that actually I completely, not whiffed on, but I completely forgot about. Now, one thing I will say about Jawan Taylor is that he causes a lot of false starts, man. And because he played for the Chiefs, they never called him on it. He moves so much on that line that I feel like if he played for the Cardinals, we would get so much penalties on us. He moves and he so much before the snap. It's wild to me, but you're right. He is still available right now. 6'5", 330, 28 years old. He doesn't grade out very well in PFF, and I think overall he's solid. And if the Cardinals were to kind of give him a fair deal, I wouldn't be mad at the idea of the Arizona Cardinals going this direction, but this man is a false start machine, And like I said, if he's with the Arizona Cardinals, I think we will start seeing that more into fruition. But we'll see. I wouldn't be mad if the Cardinals got him on a reasonable deal. So for what it's worth, there's that. But yeah, you're right. He is still available as of right now. Does he play left tackle? I thought he was a right tackle. Because if he is a left tackle, then we're going to be back in the same quandrum that we were talking about with the other guys that we mentioned. Let's take a look here. Could have sworn I saw him on the right side. Let me double check here, though, real quick. Let me double check. I'll find out right now. No, I think he's a right. Now, does he got the ability to play left? I think he does. Let me see. Despite being signed from the Chiefs in 2023 with the possibility of moving to the left side, he remained a right tackle as of March of 2026. No, yeah, he's a right. Now, like I said, I mean, I think maybe when he was drafted, probably the thought was for him to be a left tackle, but I think he's a right tackle and I remember very specifically because I watched a few Chiefs games when they were on the television here on my broadcast. I would specifically remember seeing him on the right, always jumping. Always jumping. That man is always jumping, like before the snap. So yeah, maybe he could play both, but I do believe this last year he was a right guy, a right tackle. El Tally says, okay, perfect. Okay. Julio in the chat says, okay, Real Tone in the chat. Okay, here we go. Real Tone, what's up, brother? He says, let the kid play it and stay there. Maui Noah is probably the move unless they like the guys in the second wave of young tackles who may be there in the early second. So I think you're probably saying the Arizona Cardinals should... Okay, so you're talking about the potential switch. Okay, I mean, I respect that. I mean, I would rather keep Paris at left as well. I'm just kind of pitching ideas because if the Cardinals were to be in play for, like, let's say, for example, Rasheed Walker or a Tyler Decker, which is going to be a stopgap guy, right? That's all I'm talking about, that the flexibility of Paris going to the right is there. And you're going to have those conversations. But like I said, I mean, I'm not going to be one of those guys that would force Paris Johnson to the right side because of that. So, like, I just see it as unrealistic for the Cardinals to go that route. And I'm talking about the Rasheed Walkers of the world, right? But it's option. The options are there, right? Um, but I agree. Keep them there if need be. Oh, you're good, man. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. No worries, man. Let's keep the chat going here. We got Bacon in the chat. Says, I know who Dre Greenlaw is as a Cardinal slash 49er fan. Yeah. Yeah, Dre Greenlaw would be cool. I mean, I know he had his own issues with kind of injury, but I mean, label one guy that's going to be able to be healthy like every single year of his career, right? Because even the great Buda Baker has missed a game. But I mean, yeah, Buda Baker's, I wouldn't list him off as injury prone. Some people probably say that about Joey Greenlaw, but hey, man, if you got him on a 1 year reasonable deal, I see no issue with the Arizona Cardinals going in the direction of that direction. Ramon in the chat says, remember when we took Levi Brown with the 5th overall pick? Yeah, I know the comparison right now is the whole Levi Brown and the not Patrick Peterson. Wow, Adrian Peterson. Right. I'm assuming that's what I mean. Cardinals. I mean, there's a reason why the Arizona Cardinals are in the state right now, right? Because a lot of first round picks didn't really work out, right? So the Cardinals, have they whiffed? They have. And that's no shock. Absolutely. Should the Cardinals have gotten Adrian Peterson? I mean, well, I guess it just depends on the state of the roster at that very moment, right? Because there is organizations that fill based off of need. There's organizations that fill based off of BPA. But guess what? Your BPA is different than my BPA, right? My BPA can be different from JMR, from Julio, from Ramon in the chat. So BPA is subjective. Although I preach it all the time, you got to go BPA. It's so subjective. From top to bottom, it's subjective because everybody's got a different evaluation of how they feel like a roster can be constructed, right, in the next year. And that's why there's a lot of conflicting things from what I would do than one Monty Ossenfort would do, right? Now, all the guys that I want, are they all great? No, they're not, right? I whiff on some people that I want the Cardinals to get, and they don't work. That's what it is. The thing is that you need to get more right than you get wrong. That's how you get it. You're not going to hit every single draft pick. You're not going to hit every single free agent. The problem that we're dealing with is that if you look at the hits to misses from Monty Ossenfort, there's a lot more misses than hits. So that's kind of why we're here. And the depth and the lack of depth that we have on this roster as well, because I don't know, man. It's not there for me. Now he's given another opportunity, another fresh breath of life. And I thought he would really take advantage of that this year. But Monty's just gonna Monty, man. That's just what it is, dude. It's just what it is. JMR says, do you have to go BB? Yeah, I agree. I would love to have him though. We don't really need Drake. I mean, I feel like there's a need there. I feel like there's a real big need there. I feel like there is a need for Dre Greenlaw. Biggest reason as to why is because who do you have behind him? You have Cody Simon going into his year 2, and then you got Owen Papu, right? However you say his last name, OP, right? You got those two guys. I feel like it is a need. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals can very well get Dre Greenlaw, and we can go ahead and round this bad boy out and say, oh, okay, this free agency class was pretty solid. Now, still, that is going to continue to follow the trends of what the Cardinals are doing, right? 2-year guys, stopgap guys that we're going to have this conversations next year because these draft picks aren't really coming into what we all want them to. So I do see them as a need, but I do see your comment right after saying I would love them though. So I respect it. K1 in the chat says J Love is bust proof. I mean, didn't we think Marvin was bust proof? Now I'm not saying Marvin is a bust. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Marvin is a bust, but didn't we all think that Marv was bust proof? I mean, we all thought Marv was a generational talent. You never know what happens in the NFL. Everything needs to be perfect. Everything needs to come out and be perfect for somebody to be, well, not perfect, but like in a right situation, right? In order for somebody to exceed. Now, right tackle. We brought in Isaac Samuel right? But I mean, that's going to be the contingency that he actually stays healthy. Let's not forget he's in his 30s, right? And for some reason, when people drink our water, it's they get hurt. I don't know why. We got 3 supposed Iron Man in 2024, and guess what? They were all riddled with injuries. And guess what? All 3 of those guys aren't here. Your Jonah Williams of the world, your Bilal Nichols, your Justin Jones of the world, they're not here anymore, right? So I don't even know like if we can even call anybody bust proof. I see what you're saying because the generational kind of stigma on him. And we can have the conversation back and forth if you guys want him or not. And I'm not going to try to change anybody's opinion otherwise. I just don't think it's happening. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are going to bring in a running back, especially now that you brought in Tyler Algier, especially that you brought back Bam Knight. It just doesn't feel like the Cardinals are going to do that. Right tackle is a big need. Trenches is a big need. And that's how you win games. You win games in the trenches. So we'll see. I could be wrong. Let's keep the chat going here. Let's take a look here. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this. Let's talk about this real quick. Right? We're in the Cardinal news mode. Does anybody know where this came from? Let's talk about this real quick. We have a person that I believe covers the Green Bay Packers, right? We have a person that covers the Green Bay Packers. And they came out and said this. Cardinals edge Josh Sweat has requested a trade this week. Per source, the Packers and the Eagles are both reportedly interested in him. Philly is trying to find another star on the defensive line after losing Jordan Phillips to Carolina. Where the heck did this come from? And the only reason why I'm bringing this up, ladies and gentlemen, is because obviously there's a lot more bigger markets than the Arizona Cardinals. You put something like this and you probably are sitting with like, especially if it's real, right? Especially if it's real, you're probably sitting with like 600 likes, right? But this tweet has over 3,000 likes on X/Twitter. Now, obviously, likes doesn't mean that's real, but there is a report floating around that Josh Sweat has requested a trade. Like this, I don't know where the heck this is coming from. I really don't. I don't know where the heck this is coming from, and I don't believe this with a 6-foot pole at all. Now, this is what I'm talking about here. It's coming from Easton Butler. Now, when you click on him, he's got less than 10,000 followers, which, like I said, followers really don't equate to if you actually have sources or not, right? That's the truth. We know that. But it seems like he is a writer for Packers Report, Packer Insider on IG, whatever, right? He's coming out here saying that the Arizona Cardinals or Josh Sweat is requesting a trade, or he requested a trade this week. Anybody else hear this? I agree. I 100% agree with this. We got my guy Cruzy in the chat says, if Rap Sheet or Schefter doesn't confirm it, I'm not buying it. I agree, brother. I agree. I don't think this is true. I really, really don't. Now, I know there's going to be a debate amongst, the social media world, X/Twitter world. I don't think that's true, man. I really don't. Now, if a name like Josh Sweat wants a trade, because I've heard somebody out there saying, well, Monty Austinford and the Arizona Cardinals love to keep things in-house. Josh Sweat is a big name. You're not going to be able to keep that in-house, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to be able to keep that in-house. Josh Sweat is not your Jordan Birch. It's not a Zaven Collins. Josh Sweat is a massive name and had over double-digit sacks this last year. If he wants out, they will know. If he wants out, then they will know. It's just as simple as that. I'm not going to come out here and act like I don't think it's true. I really don't. Now, I don't have any inside information saying that, but come on, let's be real. If he wants out, and especially if this rumor came out a week ago or that he requested a trade a week ago, I feel like we would know, right? I think you're Ian Rapps. I think you're Peliceros. I think you're Shefty would have been reporting this already because that's a big name out there. Now, will the Cardinals trade him? Will they not trade him? Honestly, I think he's going to be here in 2026. I think he's going to be here in 2026. Now, have we seen the Cardinals deal with this before. Yeah, we've seen Budda Baker request a trade, right? We've seen Budda Baker request a trade. We've seen Patrick Peterson request a trade. Did that equate to trades? Well, Budda's didn't, but that was based off of money. As far as we know, he's happy with his money right now. Now that things change every single year, that's the truth. Does Josh Sweat not like what the Cardinals are doing so far? Well, I mean, if he doesn't, I mean, I don't. So I mean, maybe that's the case, but I don't know if it's true or not, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it's true. We got Red Rage Dave, $2 donation coming our way. What's up, brother? He says this: trade Brissett and a 3rd round pick to the Vikings for JJ. Talking about JJ McCarthy, I'm assuming, right? So trade Brissett and a 3rd round pick to the Vikings for JJ McCarthy. One thing I will say right now is that if KOC, Kevin O'Connell, can't make it work with JJ McCarthy, I don't know if I trust anybody, with the exception of maybe your Sean McVays or your, who else? Maybe not Mike, Matt LaFleur's. I don't know if I really trust very many coaches to get them right. 3rd round pick is a lot. Now, also keep in mind, Jacoby Brissett isn't hitting very much towards the cap for us. We have 2 very affordable quarterbacks right now, though. Yes, they're backup quarterbacks. Yes, they are. But 2 very affordable quarterbacks. And yes, JJ McCarthy right now is still on his rookie deal, but he was a 1st round pick. I'm actually kind of curious to figure out what McCarthy's contract looks like right now. Now, he only got drafted not too long ago, right? It was fairly recent that he got drafted. In 2026, he's got a cap hit of $5.9 million. Not very much. It's just, if JJ can't, now he's still young. He's 23. That's a lot to learn still. So if you're going to be banking on potential, I mean, it's there. I think the plan right now for the Cardinals, which I'm not mad at you obviously pitching things, right? I'm not mad at it one bit. Mike LaFleur right now is still getting his feet wet in his head coaching, I guess, job, that to kind of put this on him to say, hey, fix him. I don't know, man. I don't know. And a 3rd round pick is a lot. We can very well get a sneaky edge rusher there. We can very well get an offensive lineman there, a guard maybe, a running back if they're interested, which probably not anymore after getting the Tyler Algier move. I don't know. I don't see it happening. You can't unlock him if he's hurt all year. Yeah, and there's also that as well. Yeah. KK in the chat says LaFleur can unlock JJ McCarthy's success. I mean, it's always a possibility, right? It's always a possibility. I'm not going to come out here and act like, oh yeah, that he's a bust. I mean, I don't know. It's really too early to tell if a kid's a bust so far. I mean, I know injuries have kind of plagued him, and I know obviously the Vikings are planning to move off of him. I mean, they just drafted him 2 years ago, right? They drafted him in 2024, played in 2025, and now we're sitting here in 2026. So, will they pick his 5th-year option up? Probably not. They probably won't pick up JJ McCarthy's 5th-year option. That's the truth. Intrigue is there, right? But I think the same intrigue goes for JJ as AR, right? Like Anthony Richardson, right? Probably even a Tyson Bagent, right? Like those type of guys are probably all on the kind of same intrigue level. I guess the way like JJ would probably be a little bit more intriguing is because he was a 1st round pick. I don't know, man. That's tough. No hate. Jacoby is a no hate. I mean, no, I don't think it's hate. We're just trying to find a light at the end of the tunnel. I get it, man. I get it. We're trying to find a light at the end of the tunnel. We see one win in 2025 for Jacoby, and we say to ourselves, right? I don't know if this is like realistic. Like what are we really going into, right? So I get it. We're pitching ideas. We're trying to see a light at the end of the tunnel. I respect it, brothers and sisters. I respect it, man. It's all good. AZ, what's up, AZ fan? What's up, bro? It's been a while. He says this, I would rather trade for Richardson than JJ. Yeah, Richardson is interesting, man. But him in himself, he gets hurt a lot too. Like, I know some people out there like that are Colts fans that were calling him Mr. Glass. If you don't know who Mr. Glass is, then you didn't watch one of the great movies out there of Unbreakable, Split. But Mr. Glass was a character that you couldn't touch him because he would have broke, right? And I've heard some people that are part of the Colts fandom calling him Mr. Glass. I don't know if he just can't stay healthy either. So it's tough. But I mean, if the Cardinals take a risk and a very, very low draft pick away, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it one bit. I wouldn't be mad at it one bit. I wouldn't be mad at it one bit. AZ fan, no, you're good, man. You're good, man. I get it. I get it, brother. I get it. It's tough. It's tough. I even explained in my last 3 videos, man, that this organization has beat me down, man. This organization has beaten me down since Monty Ossenfort's taken. Actually, way before Monty Ossenfort's taken over. This organization has beaten me down, so I don't blame you, man. K1 Intercepting in the chat says 85% sure we are going edge, Bailey or Bain. We got 2 offensive linemen and a running back, edge and guard or left. Yeah, it does feel like trenches is going to be what the Cardinals are going to do with the third overall pick right now. And yeah, I'm right on board with that. The Arizona Cardinals need to get themselves a premier, in my opinion, pure pass rusher, not these, maybe you're a pass rusher, you were a middle linebacker, and now you're no, I want you a pure pass rusher. That is what I'm looking for the Arizona Cardinals. So, yeah, for what it's worth, right, that's what I'm looking for. Caesar in the chat says, are we getting close to 19K? Dark days for the Cards. We are. Yeah, we are. We are actually less than 100 subscribers away from 19K. So I think that's what you're asking. But yeah, we are less than 100 subscribers from 19K. So if you guys haven't already subscribed and you're watching and you're liking this content, subscribe it up, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely for free. I'm not coming after you with a check saying you owe me this. No, I'm not. Never going to do that. It's free to subscribe. And all we do is talk Cardinals all year long. We can celebrate. We can have a lot of therapy sessions in 2027, which is probably going to be the trend moving forward. But for the people out there that are just joining in, I know there's a lot of Cardinals fans that are very interested in a said Dre Greenlaw. Now, the big question out there is, are the Arizona Cardinals interested in a said Dre Greenlaw? I think he'll be a really good asset for the Cardinals if they were to go in that direction. But he has been released by the Broncos 2 days ago. And I feel like he would be a really good asset for the Cardinals. Putting him on the opposite side of Mac Wilson Sr. would be a good duo. Would be a really good duo. No, I don't have any inside information saying the Cardinals are interested in him at all, but it's just going to depend because the Cardinals have money, man. The Cardinals have money. Now that we know that it's a post-June 1st designation for Kyler Murray, now that we know that, the Cardinals are still sitting upwards with about $40 million in cap space right now. And that's with the revising deal with James Conner, the revised deal of Sean Murphy-Bunting. Like, what we know right now is the Cardinals still have money, right? But what we did know last year as well is the Cardinals have $30 million for a good majority of that year, and they didn't do anything with it, right? So although we got money, will they spend the money? That's the big question out there. Because if you bring in a Dre Greenlaw, that makes our defense better, man. Way better. Way better. Way better. But for the new people also, whoa, I don't know what happened there. For the new people that did not, that just joined not too long ago here, we also did get more, wow, let me get this fixed up here. What is going on? Sorry about that. I'm telling you. Let's get this bad boy fixed up here real quick. Okay. Okay, so we're not doing that. All right, we're going to fix that a little later on, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing that kind of came out as well is that the Arizona Cardinals did also bring back Starling Thomas the V as well. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Lorenzo in the chat says, just getting in. Any good news so far? The only news that we've heard, which we just talked about maybe about a couple minutes ago, is that the Cardinals are bringing back Starling Thomas the V. And then they made it official that Bam Knight is coming back. there hasn't really been any new names so far for the Arizona Cardinals. So for what it's worth, there's that. But there definitely seems to be some sort of trend with what the Cardinals are doing so far with these free agents that they're picking up. They're not picking up guys that are like mid 20s. They're picking up guys that are like 28, 29, 30s. Like that's what they're picking up. Now, call it what you will. Dre Greenlaw can fit in that. The Dre Greenlaw can fit in that. I mean, he's 28 years old right now. And he would be a really good asset for the Cardinals if they were to go that direction. Now, will they? I don't know. But this is the list that I compiled for guys that could potentially be in the Arizona Cardinals if the Cardinals were to make a decision, right? Rasheed Walker's still out there. Joey Bosa's still out there. Tyler Decker's still out there. And then Quandon Muhammad, which played with the Lions, and I believe he had like 12 sacks, if I can remember correctly, this last year. So really, really good players still out there. So just going to depend. Are you going to spend or are you not? Are we just twiddling our thumbs, or what are the Arizona Cardinals going to do? Well, that's the big question, man. That's the big question that we're sitting in right now. Will they or will they not? John in the chat says, any thoughts on the Josh Sweat rumors? We talked about this a little earlier as well. I don't think there's really any weight to it. I honestly don't. I don't really think so, man. One thing I will say is that Josh Sweat is a big name. If Josh Sweat wanted out, we would know that he wants out. And I don't take for 1 second that, Monty Alcifor keeps things in-house. Monty Alcifor and Michael Bidwell keep things very, very quiet. And although they do, I will give you the fact that they do keep things in-house and keep things very quiet. I will say that. But the Kyler Murray rumor came out. The multiple things came out under their regime, right? And Josh Sweat is such a big name that I almost promise you his sports agent would leak it out to your Shefties, to your Ian Rappaports, to your Tom Pelisseros. They would link it out. I promise you they would. I don't think there's too much into it, if I'm going to be real with you. I could be wrong. But if I were a betting man, I would say that Josh Sweat would be suiting up for the Arizona Cardinals in 2026. Now, he's still getting paid pretty handsomely, right? He's still getting paid pretty handsomely right now. So I don't know. I'm not going to look too much into it until the big dogs say anything. If the big dogs report it, then oh man, then we start talking about it, because then the Arizona Cardinals go from yikes to damn. We truly might be in hell. we truly might be in hell. But yes, there is a tweet out there going around pretty virally on the X/Twitter about Josh Sweat requesting a trade sometime this week. But as of right now, nothing has been said, so I'm not worried about it as of right now. But like I said, could it come to fruition? Well, we panic once we hear the big dogs talking about it. Lorenzo in the chat. What's up, Lorenzo? He says, my icing on the cakes, hearing Bosa to the Cardinals, not Murray. I wanted to draft Bosa, not Murray, last year. Bosa was on third downs to, yeah. I mean, well, let's not forget that the Arizona Cardinals were in play for either Bosa or Quinn Williams. Quinn Williams and Bosa came out to be really good players. Now, Bosa more than Quinn Williams, but still, Quinn Williams is a good player. It's a good player. And now we're sitting 7 years removed, and now we got none of them, right? That's why it's so important to get the guy that you believe is going to be a Super Bowl contending guy. Now, whether Steve Keim was bullied into it by Mike Bidwell, by Blake Shelton. Blake Shelton, for the love of God, wanted Kyler Murray. And then when we drafted him, he posted multiple pictures with him and Steve Keim, hugging it up. I don't know if the decision was Cliff, if it was Keim, if it was Bidwell, if it was Blake Shelton. I don't know, but that's the decision that they made. And they had a potential to get Nick Bosa, and they didn't. And that's just the decisions that comes along. But that's also going to come into fruition too if in 2027 the Cardinals are back in the same situation. You could potentially get yourself a quarterback, or you can potentially get yourself one of the best players in the draft. That's why I think the Cardinals should stay at 3 and get the best player available here. Because if you get yourself best player available, you're sitting with Bain or Bailey. Or if Arvo Reese is the guy you want to get, then you're sitting with one of the best players in college football. That can give you 4 or 5 years of solid play on that position. And I don't know. We're still kind of at the point right now of I don't know what Monty is. I don't know what Monty Alcifor is, right? That's kind of where we're at right now. So for what it's worth, there's that. Cards fan, Another one.
Another one.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. It's on this time a 5. 5 donation coming our way. Thank you so very much for the 5. He says this. I think it's funny. We all said let Monty cook. Yeah, I agree, including myself. And he fed us crap sandwiches. Hopefully he figures it out. Or we have another chef in the kitchen. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's going to come down to, right? One thing I will say is, and I'm going to keep continuously doing this, right? And if it's going to piss people off, that's fine. I will always give everybody an opportunity. When you get here, I'm going to give you an opportunity to show and prove that you are the guy to be here. I think 2-3 years is fair enough to know if you're going to be the guy or not. In 4 years, can you develop to be that guy? You can, but I'm not going to hold my breath. You're either going to do that or you're going to prove me wrong. Bottom line. And that's exactly what I do with Kyler Murray. I gave Kyler Murray maybe a little longer than I would give a front office / coach guy. But you're right. The whole let Monty cook, that probably originated here. Some people might have said they came out with it and cool or whatever, but I was probably one of the few that probably maybe the first 10 that came out and said it. But hey, that bit me in the butt. That bit me in the butt, right? Because right now, like my guy Cards fan in the chat says, he cooked us nothing and fed us nothing but crap sandwiches. I agree with it, man. I agree with that notion that Monty has been given a breath of fresh life, or he's been given another life at trying to make this right, and I'm just not seeing it here in this free agency class. I'm not seeing it. I like the pickups. Don't get me wrong. I'm not seeing it. If that makes sense. But Cards fan and Jenny says either SHIT or get off the pot. 3 years. It is. It is. It is. Freddie in the chat says, Mike, let's get Patrick. Did he get released yet? I mean, I know my guy RC3 has been a big fan of Patrick Queen, which honestly, I'm a big fan of either as well. But I don't. Has he been released or is he still with the Ravens? Oh, I'm sorry, not Ravens, Steelers. I apologize, Steelers. He got drafted to the Ravens. He's a Steeler now. Now, there's a rumor out there, at least 2 days ago, a rumor that the Steelers and the Cowboys have engaged in talks surrounding Pro Bowl linebacker Patrick Queen. So he's still, right now, a part of the Steelers right now. So if the Cardinals were to get him or wanting to get him, they're going to have to trade for him. It's going to be the way that it is. But yeah, I'm down with that name. I'm down with that name. Christian in the chat. What's up, Christian? Christian in the chat says, I like the idea of just drafting best player available. I personally prefer going that route of trading back within the, I like the idea of just drafting best player available, but I personally prefer going the route of trading back within the top 10. I mean, anything's possible, right? We know Monty Osborne loves to trade back. We've seen it happen. He missed out on Will Anderson Jr. by trading back. He missed out on Cooper DeJean, Kamari Lassiter, by trading back. Yeah, I mean, anything's on the table. And I'm not trying to backhand Monty Osborne, but these are the things. And the crazy thing, ladies and gentlemen, is all Cardinal fans, not all, a lot of people want a Cooper DeJean. But I even mentioned that Kamari Lassiter is sitting there. You don't want to trade back, and Cardinals traded back. And they got Max Melton. And now Max Melton is seen as a depth guy, or at least what Jonathan Gannon ended up putting him out. He didn't put him out there. Jonathan Gannon put Denzel Burke out there over Max Melton. Now, can he fight for a role again? Possibly. He was a second-round pick, so I hope so. We got a lot of high praise for Mad Max in the second round. But that's the risk that you get, man. That's the risk that you take when you trade back. It's a risk. It's a risk. It's what it is. You can get more draft capital, but to me, like I've been mentioning, it's quality over quantity. And it's always going to be quality over quantity for me. Now, if they do it, let's see how it all shakes out. All we can do is hope and pray. And fingers crossed that it works out for us. That's the only thing we can do. Storm in the chat says, didn't we take Darius Robinson over a better player? Let me see here. let me take a look here. I don't remember a lot of the players after Darius, but I mean, you could easily say that with the Arizona Cardinals and Marvin, right? Marvin and Malik. Now, hindsight, Malik is better. Let's be real. Right now, hindsight, Malik Willis, good God. Malik Neighbors is better, right? Um, can Marvin get better? He can, right? He can. But you could say easily there, right? Now, everybody wanted Marvin, so including myself. So I would come out here and say that, I would have whiffed too. If I was if I was Monty, I would have whiffed because I would have gone Marvin Harrison Jr. As well. But he did that. And then for the Darius Robinson pick of the 27th overall pick, the guys that were picked after Darius Robinson was Xavier Worthy, wide receiver for the Chiefs, Tyler Guyton, an offensive lineman for he's with the Cowboys now. Nate Wiggins, a cornerback. Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Legette. Let me take a look at the second round real quick because I'm actually kind of curious now. Keon Coleman went in the second round. Lad McConkey. And now, yes, we did go after Marvin, so I don't see a world where the Cardinals double down wide receiver, especially when they had Michael Wilson there. Tre'Davion Sweat, Braden Fisk. Yeah, man, there was probably other players that could have been had for sure. Hindsight, right? Hindsight 2020. So we'll see. We got a few super chats coming in here. Larvo or one, I think it's Larvo. What's up, man? Appreciate you being in the chat. He says this: why do we want to tank just to trade back? I don't want to tank. I want to make it clear. I don't want to tank. Right? I don't want to tank. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Real quick. But I don't want to tank. I want to be very clear. I do not want to tank. Me, I don't want to tank. There's people out there that want to tank, but those same people out there that want to tank, they want to tank every other year. So I don't really take them as credibility. Now, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, Mack Wilson Sr. 6 minutes ago on the same post that I was talking about 30 minutes ago with the Josh Sweat rumors. Guess what? Mack Wilson Sr. retweeted that same post that we were talking about, and he responded with cap. You want a source, ladies and gentlemen? I told you. Here we go. Cap. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Cap. It ain't true. Be careful who you get your information from. Now, obviously, it's something to talk about, right? If this was something that was made up by either our people or the people here that are making this up on the tweet, you listen to whoever you want to listen to. I'm going to take it from a guy that's in the locker room that knows Josh Sweat. That's what I'm going to take. I'm going to take it from a guy that's in the locker room that knows Josh Sweat. He says cap, I say cap. It ain't true. Josh Sweat does not want to get traded. Cap. But I agree. I don't want to tank. That has never been my blood. Maybe with the exception of last year because I wanted Gannon gone. Maybe with the exception of last year because at that point it was already too far gone. The Cardinals couldn't do a damn thing. And they weren't going to win anything anyways. 5-6 bands with the 5. What's up, man? Appreciate the super chat.
Another one.
He says this: David Bailey with the 3rd and Drew Aller with the 2nd. Drew Aller might be there in the 3rd. Drew Aller might be there in the 4th. His footwork in the combine was bad. It was atrocious. And even the people that were talking about, like the announcers or the broadcasters during the combine, they even talked about it. His footwork isn't good at all. Like, it's very, very clunky. So if the Arizona Cardinals were to go this direction, If they like Drew Aller, I like Aller too, but he probably would be there in the 3rd or the 4th or maybe even the 5th. So the only quarterback I would take with the 2nd, only quarterback is a tie. The only quarterback I would take with the 2nd is tie. But I love David Bailey. So I got you there, Bands. I got you there. I think David Bailey is the guy that I would go after as well. To me, the arm length for Bane is not that big of a deal. I think he's still a baller anyways. But I can see how that can sway some general managers. I'm not saying that's the swaying that's happening with us, but I can see how that sways. But yes, going back to the rumors of Josh Sweat, the Josh Sweat rumors, ladies and gentlemen, are not true. Mac Wilson Sr. coming out here saying cap. And I trust people inside the locker room over random Twitter people, right? False, ladies and gentlemen. False. All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've hit the hour mark. Let's take 2 more comments here in the chat, and then we're going to go ahead and close up shop. Let's go with Quinn. What's up, Quinn? Get a top player who wants to actually be in Arizona. Yep. You can never definitely go wrong with that. Cards fan in the chat says, I'd rather take Nuts. Oh, yikes. Nutsmy, right? Oh, snapperoo. All right. It worked again, Super Chat, and we got news. You're right. Did it again, man. I'm just saying, typically the same people who want to tank. Yeah, 100% agree, brother. 100% agree. I do not like it. I do not get it. I don't think tanking is the way that you fixed an organization. No. The way you fix an organization is by winning. Simple as that. It's not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. You want to fix an organization, you win. Simple as that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, thank you so very much for tuning in. You guys are all amazing. I want to give another quick shout out here to these super chatters. 56 Bands, Larvo, Cars Fan, Red Rage, Dave, Julio, Michael. Appreciate the super chats and everybody who smacked the like button on this stream. You guys are all amazing. I'll see you guys in another different podcast. Thanks, guys. Later. Go Cardinals. Peace.